Hi, I'm Vic Bearcroft and today I'm going to show you how to draw a lion using simple shapes, lines and materials that are cheap and cheerful that you hopefully should have at home, such as a 2B pencil, a sheet of sketching paper, an eraser and a bit of paper towel. So let's begin with the simple shapes. This is going to be a lion in profile, so what we want first of all is the profile of his nose. Firstly, start with a straight line at an angle. It doesn't really matter too much about the angle, but if you think about going from corner to corner on your sheet of sketching paper, then you won't be too far off. So we'll have the outline of his nose, which is about there, going up to the head at the top. Tip of the nose will be about here, so from there we can do a little line running down to the mouth, about so. To start with, we'll create a little triangle shape for his nose tip. By the way, the tip of a cat's nose is called the lever, so that's the lever. For the mouth, we're going to do a couple of lines. Try to avoid doing a curved line like that, otherwise it looks too cartoony. So we'll have maybe one line here, another there, and another just slightly upturned. So a series of 1, 2, 3 lines. As for the chin, lions don't have enormous chins like tigers do, so we'll do a little square for the chin, like so. And the next thing, of course, we need to do is place the eye. It's got to be in the right place, the right size. Generally, you'll find that running from the corner of the nose tip there, parallel to the outline of the nose, is where you'll find the tear duct. And if we take a line from the corner of the mouth upwards, that's roughly where the eye will be. And we'll do that as a little triangle to begin with. So you can see it's looking to the left. Finally, the final shape we'll use is an oval for his cheek. So we'll do an oval shape for the cheek, which sits on the edge of the nose. So then we have the profile going up to the head, tip of the nose, the cheek and the chin and the eye in place. Now, of course, using this method means that you can change things quite quickly without having spent hours and hours on it. So eventually we will erase these lines and rub them out. But now we can begin the process of just tidying it up a little bit by bit. So we'll begin with the nose, I think. So what we want on the nose is from the corner, get the shape of the nostril, a little rounded shape like that, take that back up to the corner, and the dip on the middle of the nose is like a little heart shape on the side, so we'll put that little dip there. The centre of the nose always joins the cleft between that cheek and the cheek on the other side, so about there. And the mouth itself, a little upturned shape for the bottom lip, and run down across the top lip, and of course they have these big black jowls hanging down, or the lower lip hanging over, which is that kind of shape. Again, roughly in a minute we'll fill that in, we'll shade it in properly later on. And the chin just needs rounding off a little bit, so maybe round that corner off there, and then we'll work on the nose itself. So the nose isn't going to be straight like that. First of all, above the eye we'll have the eyebrow, which is roughly an oval shape, a little dip in the middle. That dip is usually dark fleck in the fur. So from there, we can give him more of a proper lion profile, quite a bulbous nose at the lower part, like that. Okay, and then the eye, tear duct, line each side because it's like a channel in the middle. Then we have the inner part of the eye, which is quite dark. Upper eyelid, which is usually quite a low angle if the lion is out hunting or something like that. And the pupil looking to the left, so we'll place that about here, just below the eyelid, or just touching the eyelid is better. And then slightly round off the lower part, which is the cheekbone, so the cheekbone will be about here. So this is slightly rounded, like a little S shape if you like. And then that dark piece in the centre of the eyebrow there. So now, before we put any mane on, we want the whisker follicles. These are lines or rows of dots running along the cheek. All cats have these, of course, and we'll start with just a few rough lines like so. What they'll do is they'll show you the shape of the cheek, that rounded shape, and once we've got those, we can just make some little dots. Note that on all cats there are 4 rows of whisker follicles. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So always 4 rows. So now we've got some a little bit more precise drawing in place. So what we'll do, we'll put a little bit of a mane in. So if we take the forehead up a little bit like there, and we'll have a little bit of the mane at the top of the head flipping over on the left hand side, not too long. The longest part of the mane is from the ears down. We'll give them a little bit of a fringe coming down here too. So nice long flowing locks. And don't worry if you don't get these too exact, because if he moves his head and the wind blows, it's all going to be slightly different. So we'll have that finishing off about here. And remember, any of these bits you don't like, or extra lines you've got, you can rub out shortly. So before we think about shading, apart from the nostril, we'll just show you that in a little bit. We'll get rid of some of these lines that we've got that we don't need anymore. I'm going to use a putty rubber or kneadable eraser. You can use an ordinary plastic eraser if you haven't got one of these, but the kneadable eraser does take it off quite cleanly without leaving any bits. And again, these are readily available. So we'll remove those lines that we don't need. Take that corner off there and maybe a little bit off that. Don't need that too much anymore. And then we'll start some shading. So the shading is going to be fairly simple for this. It really shows us the underlying anatomical structure. So if the lion's cheekbone is there, and underneath the cheekbone it's kind of a hollow, roughly that shape. Now we don't need to worry about fur texture on this simple shaded drawing. In fact, you can go on, if you wanted to ink this in, you can add colour with coloured pencils, or if you're more into the sort of manga style, you can use coloured pens and make them a little bit more stylised. So there's a bit of shading under his cheekbone, a little bit of shading around his cheek. This one will be a little bit lighter as it's projecting out towards us. Anything that's further away from us will get a little bit of shading. So a little bit of shading on the inside of his nose. Again, it shows strength in the nose, around the eye and behind the eyebrow, which pushes the eyebrow out a little bit. So we'll do some more heavy shading around the jowl in a bit. A little bit of shading at the back of the chin, and also we can do some shading within the mane itself. So these are shadows where we have overlaying chunks of fur and chunks of mane. We won't bother with the ear for this one, but the ear will be back here somewhere. And we'll have a little bit of shading on the fringe or the crest on the far side. The top of the lion's head is almost like the crest of a Roman centurion's helmet. So if you want to, you can give them a little bit more of a what we used to call in the old days a kiss curl on there. And you can add more lines to your mane, make it as rich as you want to. So using a little bit of paper towel, this is a very cheap substitute for those paper blenders that you can buy, and one sheet of paper towel will get you a long way of water blending. So what I do is tighten it up into a little firm end like that, and then you can do precise blending with it. And it softens all of those tones that we have. And again, if you do this before you do any more specific darker areas, like the nose and the eye and so on, that will give you an overall underlying nice mid-tone to build on. Shade a little bit in the mane as well. So it gives you a nice mid-tone for the mane. Now we can start to add a little bit more detail and more specific shading. So if we start with the eye, the eyeball is this part. The pupil will be a little bit darker. The inside of the eye, the corner of the eye where we have the tear duct. It's the same for us, of course. Corners of the eye is tear duct. Each side of the tear duct channel a little bit darker. A little bit of shading underneath the eyelid where it casts the shadow. And then in the eyebrow, that darker, almost a teardrop shape in the centre of the eyebrow. All lines have that. And then we'll do a little bit more strength for the nostril. And round off the shape of the nose coming down to that cleft there. So just shade that a little bit darker. Bring that shape in a little bit down towards the mouth. The tip of the nose, or the leather. Again, we can give that a nice soft tone. Use your paper towel just to soften that up a little bit more. And then the mouth. So the lower lip, which is that little curve shape, running along underneath of the top lip and then hanging down just over the edge of the chin like that. And for this one we'll just make that quite dark. You don't need to bother with any highlights for this. Just a dark overhanging lip. And again, use your paper towel. You can use your fingers of course, but if your fingers happen to be greasy or oily, then that's going to leave a bit of a mark on your paper. So again, keeping it simple, we'll just give a slightly jagged edge to the chin. Strengthen some of the lines on the mane. And remember, you can colour these in. You could even use watercolour if you like to use watercolour. Coloured pencil would probably be nice. Or any kind of crayon, coloured pens. I know a lot of the, if any youngsters out there would have a go at this, you've probably got some coloured pens that you use for cartoons and so on. So feel free to use those. And then we'll add a little bit more texture into his crest. So I think a tiny bit more shading at the end, sort of show the strength of the nose. A little bit more shading way down here in the sunken cheeks. So that's the hollow cheekbone there that goes into a hollow. So these three shades that we're using, light, medium and dark, will really help to show underlying anatomical structure. Again, just a little soft stroke with a paper towel. We won't be doing any fur texture on this one. This is just a simple method to get you started. So for future tutorials on this, then we'll start to look at how to detail fur texture and other things. So final few bits around the eye and the nose, just to strengthen that. And we've probably got some whiskers. Now the best thing we can do for the whiskers, I think, is to use the corner of your eraser and just lift some out like that. Okay. And then we have some whiskers. You can probably do dark ones as well if you want to, but keep them fairly light. Final strengthen of the outline. And there we have it. So, feel free to add your own touches to this, or simply do it as it is, and post your results to the Facebook page, which will be coming up shortly. So, thanks for watching. There will be more basic drawing and in-depth tutorials coming soon, including, not too far away, there will be a line in pastel which you can paint along with by ordering the materials, outlines, pastels and paper, etc., which we'll tell you about when we get that. Okay, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.